All right, everyone, we should be live. Let's make sure that's actually the case over on Rumble, of course. Unpause and repause. That works. We've got some news actually to talk about today. We've got the Secret Service sloped roof incident. That sloped roof, oh man, you can't stand on that. Apparently, unless you're an active shooter, in which case it's not really a problem. Unfortunately, one of the articles is not archiving. Has to do with Elon Musk and his third-party move. So, I'll just have to queue that up normally. AI's anti-Semitism problem is bigger than Grok. Yes, indeed. Turns out that AI apparently doesn't like Jews. Wow, you know. Couldn't be the result of the fact that people online are shitposting all the time and AI is trained on all of those shitposts. Couldn't have anything to do with that. The Trump administration is about to incinerate 500 tons of emergency food. I do not agree, by the way, with this particular decision. These are not MREs, though. These are ERAs. These are energy bars, basically. So it's a little bit different. I have had one before. It's not bad, actually. It gives you a shit ton of energy, that's for sure. Trump tries to rewrite history on being fooled by Putin. Yeah, the legacy media is claiming that Trump is gaslighting people, even though the legacy media are the ones doing the gaslighting. I just thought that I would point that out. I have some complaints about the Trump administration, but most of the complaints that are actually being raised are completely illegitimate. So, yeah, we'll get into that a little bit. Yeah, CP simple. Probation conditions. No phone, no lights, no motor car, not a single luxury. Like Robinson Crusoe, it's as primitive as can be. No, my probation conditions are basically I'm not allowed to contact the other party involved in the case. And that's basically all. And then I have to occasionally do Zoom calls. That's my punishment. After spending 25,000 or so dollars on legal defense and travel and the other things that I needed to do, my punishment is basically that's it. Yeah. This is why I don't trust the judiciary. This is why I don't like the legal system. They'll drag you through hell and try to bankrupt you in the process because it's lucrative to do so. It makes a lot of moolah. For even a misdemeanor case, and then they'll try to crucify you as much as they possibly can. By the way, Bobby, yeah, Bobby, I'm not in jail. I got probation. I told you, but you didn't believe me. Cooking Inferno, nice one, Gilligan. I used to have literally like the white hat that Gilligan wore and a red shirt, and I would wear that when I went to Hampton Beach, actually. Formula XFD, one clear of prob, get your record expunged. Yes, I do intend to get my record expunged. Girl of the Valley, yay, Styx is back. Bobby is so salty right now. He expected me to go to jail for a minimum of 6 months. Tried to tell you about how the legal system works, but you would not believe me. Yeah, the cases, they last for months, unless they're completely cut and dry, and you're like, look, I'll just plead guilty or something like that. I could have just done that. Probably would have gotten the same sentence. By the way, you need lots and lots of ice water on a day like today. It's going to be upwards of 94 degrees later. Yeah. Sorry, Bobby. I'm not going to jail. I wouldn't have even if they had sentenced me to jail time. Let's put it that way. He's pooping everywhere. Goodness. Damn it, Bobby. Final Rambobino. Damn it, Bobby. That boy ain't right. I get the reference. Yeah, Bobby, he he's obsessed with my feet, and he's obsessed with the idea of being behind bars for some reason. Bobby, do you have some sort of fetish that we should know about? I'm almost tempted to give you one of these. I have created a very small handful of black spots. 'Tis a pirate summons. I've got 4 of them. I gave one to my mom, and of course, one of them to my best friend. Um, but I've got 4 left. Who should I give them to? Anton could use a black spot. That would be funny. That still leaves me with a few. I'm only going to make a handful of them. I'll have to give them to people. Some of you will have to get black spots. I have autographed them all. Bobby, okay, you're getting a blind. Seriously, if you give me your address, I will send you a black spot. There's no glitter bombs or anything like that. I'll just give one to you because you've been a prodigious troll, and I can admire that, and I actually like you. So yeah, well, not in that way, but you know what I mean. So yeah, you can have one of these. I'll have a black spot for Black History Month. Oh God. Arr, 'tis a pirate summons. Honestly, I kind of like some of the trolls on my channel better than anyone else. Mike the Wop. Clank, motherfuckers. Tarl, you waste a lot of time appeasing trolls. You're betterer than that. Yeah, but it's fun. I like to have fun. I actually enjoy my job. Spike, you should have sent Bobby fake feet prison pics in exchange for your legal pills. And everyone keeps talking about fucking Freddy Got Fingered. I will watch it. I promise you that I will. Cooking Inferno. What are these black spots? Some form of pirate syphilis? No. Back in the day, back hundreds of years ago, the black spot was a summons to a meeting, effectively. You were deposing a captain, you were kicking off a crew member, something, killing someone, something like that. So you would palm the black spot like this, and you would shake their hand and you would force it into their hand, and they've gotten the summons. It's effectively a legal document more than anything else. These ones are just for show. So black spots, they're pretty cool. Sigil, so what Sticks got to do for community service? I don't have any. If I worked the street corner for 100 hours, I would make sure to make a video beforehand so I get more business. Yes, Patch Christ. The black spot, normally it would have like a date on the back, and it was basically you would palm it to a person, and then they would have to accept the summons, or they'd have to flee, effectively. It means that the crew is throwing you off, or the captain is pissed with you, or something like that. And it was basically a death mark more than anything else. These ones, of course, again, are just autographed and just for show. I'm not actually coming to your house to murder you with a black powder musket. Cam2425IA. So, did I hear right? Your shakedown is over? Yep. Yeah. They gave me probation. And I have to pay $150 in court fees. After months and months and months of dealing with this shit almost a fucking year, yeah, that's what I have to do. That, and I can't contact somebody that I don't want to contact anyway, so it doesn't really make any difference in my world. So yeah, I think it really came out well. I expected the court costs, by the way, to be far higher than $150. I expected it to be in the thousands range. I was like, oh, that's going to be the shittiest part of it. They're probably not going to put me in jail, but, you know, that part might suck a little bit. Oh, I could use that money for the garden. But no, it's only $150. Rupert Miller, speak up, please. I don't know if I can. I can't speak any louder than I already am. I'm already on level yellow. John Lincoln, no. What happens is that if I rub the chair against this, it sort of sounds like a fart sometimes. No, I did not fart in any of my videos. Sigil, no, but I can come to your house and cook you an excellent soup sometime, maybe. I'm going to be making one tonight. I'm making a garden veggie. I'm going to try to find 9-grain soup somewhere around for dippy reasons. There is seeded rye, which is good, but 9-grain is better for a garden veggie soup. Last night I ate a shit ton of meat and shit. I had a bunch of pizza, had a bunch of garlic bread, had a bunch of meat, had a bunch of Greek pasta. I was loaded. I scarfed myself down last night. So tonight I want to go on the light side, if I may. Sith, perfect timing today, Sticks. Thank you very much. Microphone is not working right. Okay, let me test this. It might be on the wrong settings or something like that. Audio. Oh, yeah, it's using the Brio. Thank you very much. Okay, that should be better. Can you tell me, is my microphone now sounding better? Okay, audio is good now? Okay, much better. Alright, yeah, I was trying to use my Brio. I don't exactly know why. I have to test all of this shit all of the fucking time. By the way, just in case the court decided to screw me, I already drafted a je refuse. They would know what that means. Bobby, you are obsessed with feet. I'm going to meet you in real life, and then I'm going to take pictures of your feet just as a joke. Mike the Womp, not telling you to try it. I find I like the flavor of the Red Bull Zero sugar-free version more than normal sugar-free. Lighter blue tint to it. Yeah, I've tried most of them. They've actually done a good job. Michael, you can see my feet for free, Sticks. Yeah, I like to put my particular mark on documents. This implicates your court. I hold you in contempt. Autographed and signed. Of course, I didn't have to issue it because the court made the right decision. Spike, the best part about you not being jailed is Anton doesn't have to smuggle his meats to you. Speaking of Anton, yeah, let's get to our sponsors first before we continue. We'll get to the news in a bit. This is a little bit of a bant stream. It's awfully hot right now. Honestly, I wish I could be shirtless, but you probably don't want to see me completely shirtless. I'm not as attractive as I used to be. How sad. We have cultivated-mind.com, where you can get mushroom pills. You can also get doggo snacks, pupper snacks. They seem to work very, very well, by the way. They're in high demand. I'm assuming he's going to move thousands and thousands of bags of that shit over just the course of this year, because based on the reaction of the doggo that I was in proximity to at the time, they are definitely tasty to doggos. Also, the mushroom pills will give you energy. I took mine this morning. There's a reason why I'm so energetic. I'm approaching 40, dude. You know, sometimes you need a little bit of a boost. We have BiltongUSA.com, where you can get Anton's meat. Yeah, he'll dangle his meat in your mouth. Wagyu, bison, venison, Cabanassi, Angus, half a dozen others. He's got basically everything. Also, anytime we mention Anton, we must eat a little bit of Bovrite. I can't wait till he gets in. He'll say, "Oh, too salty." Yeah. Also, Vegemite and Marmite. We've got Stick Sex and Hammer mugs, tumblers, and shirts available as well. And finally, jamandbean.com. I love to smell this every single day. This is one of the perks of being a content creator. Yeah, I've got my own fucking coffee. And it's perfect. It's literally perfect. Delicious, smooth. There's no harshness to it. You can take it black or you can take it with milk or whatever. Also, 10,000 different varieties of tea available. I like the Yunnan Jig most of all. Been drinking that lately. That's like the black tea you get in a Chinese restaurant, but it's much, much better. Well, it's fresher, so that probably helps. Use code STICKS, by the way, on these sites. Spike. Oh, no, I already read that one. The local Wendigo. Wendigo, interesting paranormal story. I've been watching you for a few months to almost a year. I don't know why my whole life I just assumed you were some far leftist because of your username. You're awesome. Thank you, you're awesome too. That's what I'm talking about. Yeah, no, I'm definitely no leftist. Girl of the Valley appears to be coming to me or something. Well, I mean, if you want to. Mike the Wop, I turn 40 next Monday. Come join the club. That sounds cool, my man. Yeah, 40's not really old. You're not old until you hit at least 70 these days. It's like, they used to say, like, 40s do 20. Well, that's not exactly true, but at the same time, when you're in your 30s and 40s, you're still functioning. Or 50s. Unless you've got some terrible health condition or something like that. Give me more Bofride. Yes, look at that. Haha. Anton would be happy. I'm just saying, it's delicious. Might put some of this, actually, in the garden veggie soup later. CP Semple, I'm 53 and it's been about 7 years since I've been carded. I get carded regularly for some reason. I'm like, dude, look at me. Do you really think that I'm under 21? McScalio Man. Hey Sticks, I was wondering if you think Trump is purposely trying to alienate his own base with his reaction to the Epstein case. It just seems insane how he is acting. He is alienating his base. I don't think that he's trying to alienate his base. I think he's believes that he's doing the right thing. But what he should have done, and we'll talk about this a little bit, he should have come out immediately and said, I have tendered the resignation for Kash Patel and Dan Bongino. I do not trust them. I have spoken about the fact that the FBI is corrupt for the last decade, and now I see that that is indeed the case. So I'm telling them that I want them to resign. Now, of course, courts would step in and try to stop him. Well, that would be great, at least for his base. People would respect him more. Now, the Epstein client list exists. The blackmail did happen. We know this. Pam Bondi confirmed this quite literally. So I don't know what Trump is doing at this point with regards to that case. I can respect Trump and support most of his decisions, but when he makes a decision that I totally disagree with, like this one, I am going to call him out. Because I'm an honest commentator. So hopefully, the evidence will be released. Yes, true, Fenrir Walker. Trump told Bondi to release the evidence yesterday. The hope is that happens. Problem is you have to jump through a bunch of hoops and hurdles to actually have that happen. But Kash Patel, he should not be the head of the FBI. Sorry, that's a bad idea. Anyways, let's get to a little bit of news. Then we can go back to bans, of course. Secret Service sloped roof saga takes new turn. Apparently, and this is utterly ridiculous, they're now trying to blame Trump for the fact that he was almost killed. Now, I shit you not. Take the goddamn link in the description, archived, of course. Well, actually, I didn't put it in the description, so... Also, I didn't archive it. I'll just post it at the top. Here. I'm putting that on YouTube and Rumble. Let's see. Yeah, you can take that at your leisure. It's a Real Clear Politics. I typically don't archive them because they're a really good aggregator and they've probably made me hundreds of thousands of dollars. This particular article is an opinion piece, and it attempts to blame Trump for the fact that he was almost getting his head blown off. Because, well, he had an argument with the Secret Service with regards to this sloped roof, this particular location. Apparently, they were trying to use farm equipment to block off any potential shot so that Trump couldn't get hit. And first I was wondering, how would you do that? First I was wondering, how would the farm equipment actually have blocked the shot? Then I wondered, if you really were arguing with the President of the United States, then not elected, about this particular security issue, why didn't you have an agent up there? Why were they not there? Because they were on another sloped roof that was at a much higher grade. But on this one, it's like, you fucking, somebody might fall. It might be a big problem. But the thing is, you probably allowed the shot to be taken. I have a feeling that the security services knew that somebody was going to show up and do some rough stuff. And so they presented a venue in order for them to make their performance. I have no doubt of this in my mind. I believe that they tried to get Trump killed. Unfortunately for them, Trump decided to turn his head at exactly the right time, and they fucking failed. And it was one of the funniest things that I've ever seen. When I watched the video of that, I was like, well, you got your comeuppance. Tenerife. I think Styx likes to troll occasionally. There's nothing wrong with that. Yes, I do, actually. More than occasionally, by the way. Yeah, when I was seeing this article, and I thought at first that I was having a fucking stroke or something. How can you blame a person for getting assassinated, almost? It made absolutely no sense. The fact that the Trump administration would have a difference of opinion, we're not exactly, listen to some of this shit. The obviously ludicrous argument inspired countless viral memes. Cows standing on sloped roofs, Secret Service agents walking on sloped roofs of the White House, USSS counter-snipers at the Butler rally kneeling on different sloped roof nearby, even patches depicting Santa holding a rifle above the words, slope roof qualified. Yeah, see, but the article largely blames Trump and his administration for the problem. But it was a leftoid, inspired by the Dems, that accessed a building that was not being guarded, even though it could have easily been guarded. We saw, for example, under Donald Trump in his first term, the White House got locked down because a bunch of leftoids were burning Wendy's, and then they attacked the gates of the White House. And they got faced down by Secret Service, and but the White House went into lockdown. What happened? Donald Trump and his family were ushered into the bunker quite literally. It was on blackout mode. You're telling me that you didn't have similar levels of security available at the Butler rally with like 20,000 people in attendance? Bullshit. Number one, it's bullshit. And number two, the idea that Donald Trump somehow was responsible for somebody being able to get on the roof is absolutely retarded. Mentally retarded in the penultimate sense, actually. It's ridiculous. They're literally trying to blame him for getting killed. That's literally what the article boils down to. Well, he almost got killed because he wouldn't listen to the Secret Service. Now, I think he should listen to them less, actually. I have a feeling that he should ignore them entirely, and he should rely upon his own security staff and maybe have a couple of platoons of Marines around him. Ain't nothing getting through that. Copium poppies. Rumble are censoring us. We've been blocked from sending Rumble rants since last week. Not the first time. Rumble is garbage. It is sad because Rumble had been doing a really great job. I agree with you on this one. They had been doing a really great job, but now you've got algorithmic demotion. It's basically become YouTube 2.0. And I don't want it to. I liked Rumble. I liked working with some of the sponsors as well that they hooked me up with. It was a great thing. But, yeah, it's not quite the same. I think BitChute is a little more of a clear guess. Michael D'Angelo, conspiracy about root canals being bad. Your thoughts? Seems to cause health issues. I also found out Europe is anti-wisdom removal in most cases. I've never actually heard about the former. I think that removing the wisdom teeth is fine. I had mine removed. It's just they gave me a half a bottle of Percocets after they did so. I puked, though, after I took the first one, so I just dumped them out. I was only interested in the ibuprofen. Taco Woman Sandy Ravage. Louisiana Governor Landry needs to put a halt to the CO2 capture project under Lake Maurepas. 5 million tons of CO2 will be pumped 1 mile below the lake per year starting 2026. Look up Air Products Lake Maurepas. I'll have to look that up, thank you. I wish that I could go back to Louisiana right now and go into the Cajun swamps and do some mud wrestling or some shit like that. Happy Neuron. This guy is a pedo supporter. Talk about Trump being blackmailed by Israel and starting wars, passing bills for the rich poisoning us. Who cares about the sloped roof? Well, there are conflicts of interest, but Trump is not a pedo supporter. In fact, he kicked Jeffrey Epstein out of all of his properties at one point when he found out that he was perving on a 15-year-old. I do not believe that he supports pedophilia. Viable or not, Musk's alternative disrupts the two-party system. Let me opine. There is 0% chance that Musk is going to be able to disrupt the two-party system. Because unfortunately, and I do say unfortunately, most people have a two-track mind. That is, they think of us versus them. It's quite simplistic. It's quite easy to understand. Now, there are some of us who understand more nuance. We are in the small minority. Most of you are intelligent enough to understand, hey, it goes beyond those two football teams now, doesn't it, that happen to be on the field at any given time. There are other football teams, right? They still compete. But most people don't understand this, sadly. They just don't get it. So this is never going to work. It's going to be, at best, it'll be a Ross Perot situation, and that's not necessarily even helpful. It sort of depends on who's running. I don't expect it to go anywhere, actually. Elon Musk is a genius. Admittedly, he managed to invent rockets that are capable of re-entering and being reused. He supplied internet to people in the middle of fucking nowhere. Decent internet. He's managed to, he tried to create a flamethrower, but it's really an oversized weed wand. He's done many things. I respect Elon Musk very greatly. But on this particular issue, he's being wrong. It makes absolutely no sense. Why? What's the fucking purpose? Your party's not going to win jack shit. It's just going to disrupt politics in one way or the other. Kind of depends on the tactics you use and the ideology you decide to associate with the party. I think he's in over his head, actually, more than anything else. Sign of Jonah. Styx looks very dapper today. Dare I say, he's damn near pretty. I love Spam and eggs. I wasn't a huge fan of Spam when I tried it. I had never eaten it before, actually. It was alright, but it's nothing special. Apparently in Japan, roasted Spam is considered a delicacy. AI's antisemitism problem is bigger than Grok. Yeah, I like how they point out Grok specifically on this particular issue. Yeah, the idea is that AI hates Jewish people. They've got those Elmo videos right now. That's the biggest meme going around. Anti-Semitic Elmo. And there's one video where he's singing the Heil Hitler song by Kanye. He's like, Elmo made a song. Oh, we'd love to hear your song. And there's, the riff from Heil Hitler, which I find hysterical. But who cares if it's anti-Semitic? Can I please ask a question? For those of us that are reasonably mature, well, not mature in the psychological sense, but at least aged, do you really give a shit? Do you really genuinely care? If I was a Jew, I'd be listening to Kanye West right now. I wouldn't give a fuck. Who gives a shit? It's just like Islamophobia and people hating black people, people hating white people. It's fun. Make hateful music. Who cares? Who gives a shit? I don't. And I refuse to pretend that I do. It's very, very classy. It's considered modern to pretend to give a shit about issues that you really don't care about. It's really, really sad. I see people, they'll say the N-word in private, but then they'll ream somebody for, microaggressions or something in public. It's very pretentious more than anything else. And I'm just going to say it to your face. And by the way, people will respect you more if you do that, generally speaking. I just don't understand it. Oh my God, Kanye West is on the radio. It's a big problem. AI is anti-Semitic. It hates Jewish people. And it doesn't hate Jewish people. It's incapable of hating anything. It's been trained on people's posting. Might be a reason for that, by the way. Just saying. I have no problem with Jewish people whatsoever. Matzo soup is one of my fucking favorites, by the way. But I believe that you should be able to criticize individuals or groups of individuals or nations and free of charge, basically. You should be able to do whatever you want, say whatever you want. That's the whole founding goal of our goddamn country. But people are complaining about AI. Oh my God, it insulted somebody. Well, yeah, that really, really sucks, doesn't it? You got insulted. Welcome to the internet. If you don't get insulted, then you're doing something wrong. I get insulted constantly. Yeah, matzo ball soup. Copium poppies. Rumble are fie goots. You get yourself banned all the time. Bobby Bobinson, I personally love Jews. Yeah, I've had nothing but positive interactions with Jewish people. I don't have any problem with them at all. and there's some good food. But at the same time, if somebody wants to criticize the state of Israel, Netanyahu, Judaism, or Jews in general, or an individual Jewish individual, who cares? We're all going to get criticized. Can anyone honestly tell me on here, on chat, have any of you never been criticized online? Unless you literally just arrived. I can guarantee that there's not going to be any yes. Not an honest one. You've been criticized online, possibly because of some group identity, which I personally don't have, other than I'm a member of the Pirates Guild, as you can see. Or as an individual, you've been criticized online. You've probably been insulted. Hell, maybe somebody threatened to kill you. It's happened to be on hundreds of occasions. Who cares? That's the internet. It's the modern method of communication. Nobody cares. No, I don't care if a person's a Jew, a Muslim, a Christian, a Hindu. These don't mean anything to me. Their color of skin means nothing to me. Who they want to fuck and how they want to fuck them means nothing to me. The only thing that I ask, and the only thing that most reasonable, sane, rational people are asking, is don't involve kids or, rapey shit. Beyond that, go ahead. You can be hateful. You can be very cosmopolitan. You can dislike other people because of the color of their skin, and you should be free to do that. Or you can say, I don't really give a shit. You should be free to do that as well. For instance, I don't care what color your skin is. When I was in jail, the most chill people were all black. It was rather funny, actually. But, yeah. I don't believe in censorship, and I never will. I'm gonna go offline briefly here so I can take a piss. I'll be right back. All right, I am back. Bobby, maybe he's doing poopy pirate chaos magic. No, not this time. I was doing some urination. It's funny how many people just want to talk about my legal case, by the way. I got probation. I am not in jail. Let's get to the rest of the news, shall we? The Trump administration is about to incinerate 500 tons of emergency food. Federal workers warned for months that the high-energy biscuits would go to waste. I disagree with this completely. Let me explain. I've eaten a lot of MREs. These are not MREs, these are emergency rations. These are basically protein-infused multivitamin biscuits. I've never tasted one, actually. Well, actually, I did once. Sort of grainy. Not bad, actually. Honestly. But, they should not incinerate them. If they're going to expire, it doesn't mean anything, because military rations are meant to be shelf-stable. They're deliberately designed to do that. Instead, you should just give them out to the domestic population if you're not going to give them to the Palestinians. Like, give me a couple of those. I'll eat them. I'll eat them on camera. Oh, it's expired? Yeah, that means a lot. Dude, I drank coffee from the Vietnam War, so I'm not particularly interested in the expiry date. It doesn't really matter. Copium poppies. Is it bench probation or real probation? I'm on probation. That's all I can tell you. You gotta realize that Louisiana has a different legal system than literally the rest of the country. They use partially Napoleonic law, actually. It's the only state that does this. So it's overlapped with English common law. In any other state, the system is going to work differently. So in Louisiana, I've got to confer with my lawyer fairly regularly because it's a system that is not used anywhere else in the country. And I can't use a local lawyer. They're not going to know anything about it because there's a difference of how the cases actually work. But, yeah, I'm on probation for 60 days or something like that. So I have to... This is my probation thing. I have to call in on a Zoom call once in a while. That's basically all I have to do. Other than that, the only thing that I have to do is avoid talking or getting around someone that I don't want to talk to or be around anyway. So it makes absolutely no difference. And it was really, really low, the amount of court costs. I thought it would be 10 times higher. So I'm very fortunate, actually. There is no ankle bracelet. You just want to see my feet, Napalm Brothers. Yeah, I expected the book to be thrown at me, actually. I figured, okay, the judge is a black female, so she might be aware of my political beliefs and not like them, and could do quite a bit of damage, but no, just got probation. The Dead Night Tiger. Keep a piss jug under your desk so you don't have to interrupt the stream. Kina wants me to take my shirt off. Jesus Christ, you thirsty people. I can unbutton it a little bit more. Why not? Perfectly fine. I still have my figure. Tyler Cafe. Degenerate fans. LMAO. Hey, I find it fun. I don't believe in, Oliver Mickey. Yes! SRC Maker. Missed my $25 super chat, bro. Skull up. Sorry about that. I was probably pissing at the time. Fuck it. I'll have to go to the... Ah, yes. Congrats on probation and being a virtually free man again. I dug up a couple of old memes of you I've created a while back and posted it to Shitter. Thank you. Copium Poppies. So did you watch Freddy Got Fingered? Not yet. I will. Don't worry. Mike the Wop. Good, it's an innie, not an outie. Yeah, I used to go shirtless all the time. I like to think that I still look good. I'm, again, relatively speaking. For my age. Yeah, I'm not gonna do the, piss jug. That will not happen. Miguel, take the skin suit off, reptilian. That reminds me, I've got to play more Oregon Trail later. I'm not going to live stream it this time, though. Yes, Bobby, I am barefoot right now. Metallic. Child molester! Child molester living next door. Good song by, what was the name of the band? Fucking... They also did I've Been Raped by the FCC. Cheap Sex. That was the name of the band. Yeah, so I don't believe in incinerating these rations because can't you just hand them out to people that are homeless or something? Doesn't make a lot of sense. Oh, they're expired. They're military rations, dude. 20 years from now, the expired rations will largely still be edible. Just saying. If there's one thing that the US military has really exceeded on, it's developing shelf-stable food. I mean, you'll get rations from the fucking Korean War that are still edible. There are a handful of them from World War II that are still edible. It's almost 100 goddamn years ago. They're very, very rare. Most of them have turned to dust by now. But at least up through the Vietnam era and certainly into the 80s, most of this food is still perfectly palatable. It may not be the tastiest thing that you've ever had in your life, but you can eat it. It's still there, it's still ready to go. The modern rations with the retort packs and things like that, the biggest problem they have is the flameless ration heaters. They can be a little bit particular with regards to how much water you put in them. And so if you flood them, if you use too much, it's not going to work well. If you use too little, it's not going to work well. I've found that the best methodology, especially for those that are, dated several years ago, flood it with water and then dump it all out. And then just squish it up. And usually it activates the magnesium really well. And then you stuff the ration in there, and then you heat it up. Yeah, that's basically all you have to do. All the other components generally don't need to be heated. And a lot of troops in the field won't even use the ration heaters, which is kind of a waste, I suppose, because they'll simply open up the container and start spooning it into their mouth. I've talked to all sorts of people from the military from multiple branches. The vast majority of them do not use the flameless ration heaters. They don't have time to use them. And there's no point. There's no reason to heat it. I mean, you can just eat it. I've had rations from all over the world. US rations, I will tell you, overall, as a general rule, good. I wish, more than anything else, if I could have any other job other than the one that I'm currently doing, it would be to be an advisor for military rations. Taste testing, formulating, giving advice with regards to what should be in the ration, and things like that. Trust me, troop morale would improve by 100%. And I'd record the whole thing. Hell, the United States government could make money. I'll just give them the Rumble rants and super chats when I do my MRE work. Fragile Wolf, would you try World War I or Civil War rations? Abso-fucking-lutely. Copium Poppies, everyone DM Sticks and insists that he watch Freddy Got Fingered. Hashtag accountability. Oh, God. Don't worry, I promise you that I will watch it. But I have to have time to watch it. Ramonsi GTC. Love the heating bento tech from Japan for MREs. I haven't seen that. Do they use the old benzene system, like the little tin trays, and you put the benzene tabs under and light them? Or is it flameless ration heaters? Because in the US, they use, it's like a plastic packet, and it's got magnesium pellets inside. And when you put water in, it reacts with the magnesium and creates heat. And it works really well, assuming that it's new. If it's old, typically it's not going to work so well. It might warm it up a little bit. But then again, MRE entrees, you don't need to warm them up. It might be more pleasant, but you might not have time to do so. Yeah, the enemy's firing on us, but I'm starving. Yeah, I totally have 15 minutes to heat up this lasagna. You know. Mark, we used to have a super hot drill sergeant that didn't hold back on flutter kicks. Goodness. Bobby, literally all of them. Oh, yes. Trump tries to rewrite history on being fooled by Putin. Again, another TDS article. They're trying to claim that Donald Trump trusted Putin. And he did say that he trusted him, but only in certain arenas, and this is a lie by omission. Donald Trump said that he trusted that Putin was interested in peace. He never elaborated further. Now, I'm not a big fan of Putin. He's an authoritarian. I'm not a fan of Zelensky either. I think both of them can go to hell, basically. But Putin did not elaborate further on his statement with regards to wanting peace. He said, yeah, we're interested in that. It sounds like a great idea, right? Zelensky did exactly the same thing. I notice, interestingly, the legacy media is not calling out Zelensky on effectively the same thing, despite the fact that they're both droning and bombing one another on a daily basis. I notice that only one of these parties is actually held accountable for its actions. There might be a reason for that. It has something to do with the fact that the legacy media is tied the Donald Trump administration to Russia. I have a feeling that that might play a role. The fact is that Putin is not a trustworthy individual, but if properly motivated, will make decisions that are favorable to you, again, assuming that the situation is stable and capable of being maintained. The problem for both Putin and Zelensky, and it is very much joint, is that they both reign over countries where if you show any hint of weakness, you typically get assassinated. Typically, you get killed. Putin knows this, Zelensky knows this, and so it's very difficult for them to back down. What's going to happen are extensive negotiations. It's going to have to be carrot and stick mode by the United States and other parties. And it's going to have to be very well coordinated. That's the only hope of peace within this region. Otherwise, either the Russians will crush the Ukrainians, or Ukraine will fight them to a stalemate, and they won't make any progress, and Putin might end up getting deposed or something like that. He'll get the black spot. Neither of these are scenarios that we want, by the way. I have no problem with Russia. I have no problem with Ukraine or with the people therein, and want them to be happy and successful and free. Unfortunately, none of these things are currently happening, so something needs to be done about this particular situation. Spike. I feel like every other country has good tasting MREs compared to us, but they are never used in their war. The best MRE is the Australian MRE. The CRM, I believe it's called. The Australian military ration is exceptional. And it's extremely calorically dense. I got 4 of them from a subscriber. He just sent me 4 Australian 24-hour military rations. He's like, "Yeah, you want these?" I'm like, yeah, of course I want them. He didn't even it didn't even cost anything. You know how much those cost on fucking eBay? It was like he's giving me $300 of military rations. I ate every single one of them. And it was delicious, let me tell you. The Australians do it best. Second, I would say would be Sweden. The Swedes, this was, I believe, the cold weather ration. And it had some sort of cereal, and then it had, I think, elk meat and stuff like that in it. It was really good. The British, the old school British rations would be third. Now they're not as good as they used to be. They've used packaging that appears to be bootstrapped off of what the US is doing. But the old boxed versions, they look nicer. I know that they're not as efficient, but they look nicer and the components were better. So that would be number 3. And then number 4 would be the US. Easily the US. The old school rations from the 80s, decent. The new ones are definitely better. The Vietnam ones made absolutely no sense, although the coffee was really, really good. And then you go on down the list. Like, I wasn't a fan of Ukrainian rations. I wasn't a fan of Polish rations. It makes no sense. You get like 12 pieces of fucking candy in this ration, and disposable cups and crazy shit like that. It doesn't make any sense. Only the Polish could develop something like that. No offense to any Polacks out there, by the way. Poland is a lovely country that I would love to visit, but your military rations, they leave a little bit to be desired. And then there was the Czech Republic. That was okay, I guess. Spain, I actually was not impressed by the Spanish ration, honestly. A lot of people say, oh, this is great. I really didn't get it, though. I've never had a Canadian ration. I would love one. I've never had an Italian ration. I would love one. I'd like to try like the Turkish ration too. I'm assuming that that's probably pretty good. And I've got the South African ration right downstairs, but I've got to find it. So then I can appease Anton. Pre-59 Cuban. Good morning, all. When does Styx report to jail? Never. I've got probation. I don't have to go to jail. To all the people that believed that I was going to end up behind bars, fuck yourself. Inland Surfer. Hey, Styx. Salisbury steak was created during the Civil War and successfully cured dysentery within the ranks. My vote for the best MRE. I didn't know that. Mike the Wop. Gene Wilder forbade Mel Brooks from having a cameo on Young Frankenstein, so he did the train noise, howling wolf, and cat scream off camera. That's hilarious, actually. Bovine. I used to put the little Tabasco sauce in my MRE heater. Fun times. Yeah, the little Tabasco bottles that they had in the old school MREs. They need to include those in the new ones. Copium Poppies. I'm making poor life decisions today. I got Totino's pizza rolls in the toaster oven right now. There's nothing wrong with those pizza rolls. You have made no mistake. You are forgiven, my son. BW Sticks. I hope Trump releases something on E just to appease people for the midterms. Yeah, I'm going to have to cover that tomorrow because Trump is making too many goddamn mistakes with regards to the Epstein files. Just tell people the truth. We have the files, but we can't release them because we're still investigating people. Briefly explain why that would be a legal problem, and then go and do your thing. That's all you have to do. It makes absolutely no sense whatsoever. Yeah, sign of Jonah. Stick's microphone problem of late is actually his ankle bracelet interference. I do not have one. My conditions of Probation, or basically don't talk to the other person. But I don't want to anyway, so it doesn't make any difference. Sith, the only thing wrong with the Totino's pizza rolls is shrinkflation versus the old 90s version. I have noticed that. You can still get an 8-pack of chimichangas at any Grand Union or Hannaford's, up here at least, and those are still good. In fact, I kind of want to get a fucking bag of those. Alan Dwight, get a job. I'm doing my job right now, my friend. And I'm going to make more money on this live stream than you will make today. Just saying. Snakes bleed red. Epstein is a myth like the Berenstain Bears, bruh. It always was Berenstain. Let me explain the Mandela effect, which does exist, by the way, but not in this particular case. It was always Berenstain. But when you're a kid, you're probably familiar with Frankenstein and Steen in general. You're probably not familiar with Stain. And so in your mind, you remembered it as Steen instead of Stain. It's simple psychology. I think I made a video on the subject actually some time ago. Copium poppies, Trump is on the list, gaslighting gives him away. No, he is not on the Epstein list. He did fly on his plane several times, but that was just to Manhattan. I do not believe that he's a pervert. Funka Puppet, are you going to right to bear arms now? That will require a court order. It will take some legal time. In the meantime, I think that I've got other things that will suffice. By the way, you can still get pneumatic weapons and black powder weapons. Those are still legal to somebody who's been found guilty of a DV offense. Ministry of Wrongthink, be honest, can MAGA survive this? Yes. Yeah, it'll survive. Oh God, Sigil, don't get me on this subject. It's Igor. But they told me it was Igor. Well, they told you wrong. I am Dr. Frankenstein. This is one of the best movies ever made. Young Frankenstein, if you haven't seen it, trust me, please, just see Young Frankenstein. With, it's just great. Doc Holliday, for quarters, the bloody pirates cried. Blow high, blow low, and so sailed we. The quarters that we gave them was to lay them in the sea, a-sailing down along the coast of High Barbary. Arr, matey. I can't wait to go back to either New York City or New Orleans and do piracy things. Both cities seem to welcome pirates. Much more than here. Copium poppies. If he's not on the list, he can prove it by hanging those that are. Yes, but he's got to go through the list to do his due diligence in investigating what they actually did. Some people may have gone to Epstein Island, but did nothing wrong. So you're going to prejudice a bunch of juries, you're going to screw up all of the cases, you have to be meticulous. The only thing that I ask of the Trump administration is to acknowledge the existence of the list and the blackmail. That's the only problem that I have. I can understand withholding it while you're still investigating people because you have no choice. Beyond that, though, the public needs to know, yeah, we do have the list. We know who went to Epstein Island. But we can't release it. We have to meticulously go through everybody that did go there, and we have to make sure which people broke the law and which people didn't. That's the only thing that we're asking. It'll take a little time. That's all they had to do. But people are fickle. I think that the Trump administration decided that because people are so fickle and impatient, they should just say that there was no list. I disagree with this particular sentiment for reasons which should be all too obvious. Mike the Womp, fairly certain you can get black powder in the mail to your house if I'm not mistaken. Yes, indeed you can. BW, I think ministry mean, do you think we'll keep house? It's going to be difficult for the Republicans to keep the House at this point because of the Epstein things. The Democrats have finally found something they can pontificate on. That's going to be a bit of a problem for them. Southern Yankee, do you find it odd that Howard Lutnick, Trump's advisor, used to own a house next to Epstein and bought it directly from him? Now, lifestyles of the rich and famous. That's actually not odd. Turtle's Toy Box. Styx wants the list to disappear too. Damn, dude, you on that shit or just carrying water for Trump? No, I'm actually saying that it should be released. I'm simply saying that there's a legal reason why you wouldn't release it. Bobby, Styx, I just want another grope stream. Well, then supply your sister, Bobby. I mean, she'd probably be willing. I realize that a lot of people have a problem with me. This is fine to me. It's nothing new. Supply your sisters. Anyways, this is now a bant stream for a while. And then I've got to start the soup at some point. So, oh, it's not even noon, so I guess I don't have any problem with time. Spike, if the GOP was smart, they would hammer the Democrats for trying to publish video and photos of the victims. That could work, but it could backfire as well. Because then people would say, well, the GOP doesn't want people to have reconciliation, or something like that. You know what the legacy media would publish. El Hazara. Bants, bants, bants. Plenty of bants. Yeah, now I'm just, talking to everyone. NKFD. Wait, maybe it's gazpacho? No, I'm going to be making a veggie soup. Preferably pairing it with 9-grain bread. That was always my favorite as a kid. Some people like it, some people don't. Some people it's situational. I always love 9-grain bread. There's also seeded rye available. That's good. But no, this is going to be just a general garden veggie soup. It might have a beefy broth. I might use some of Anton's Bovite in it. BW. So Trump agenda over in 26. No. Bobby, Styx, I'll pay $200 for Nixter to be the guest on your next grope stream for the midterms. You might get another grope stream. Who cares? Nixter saying, for realsies? For realsies, there is garden vegetable soup available. Joseph Rosenthorn, do a cooking stream sometime. Yeah, no, here's the problem. Can I please pontificate for just a minute? When I got into politics and current events, a lot of people, will attack you. They'll complain about you. They'll say, you suck and you're wrong and things like that. Sometimes they'll threaten to kill you, but, that's beyond the point. But I never imagined in a fucking million years that when you got into cooking and you did cooking videos or even took pictures of your food, so many people would jump down your throat. I never imagined in a million years that cooking was going to be more controversial than politics. I'm like, hey, I made this beautiful stir fry. Well, your stir fry doesn't have enough carrots. Oh, that sauce looks weak. Oh, there's no peanuts on top. Or maybe, hey, there's peanuts on top. What are you fucking doing? People are so peculiar when it comes to food. It is so much more intense than politics. It's like you gotta be a goddamn Iron Chef or some shit like that. I didn't understand it. It's like the only time that I posted a picture of anything that I created in the kitchen, which people generally thought was good, was when I made the cream of mushroom. And they're like, oh, that looks good. Yeah, it's fine. But everything else, they're just constantly deriding you. I made these delicious mushroom burgers, for example, one time. And, but people, they thought it looked bad or something like that. It tasted amazing, but they didn't think that it looked right. And you have to be not just a chef, but a photographer in order to pull this off. And a videographer. You're going to have to master all three of these skills, man, if you want to put anything about food on the internet. And I quickly learned that. I was like, oh, I made this delicious tomato basil. Now let's take a picture of it, put it on Twitter. I mean, it was delicious, by the way. Nice and creamy, scallions, a little bit on the rustic side. It was great. But then when I put it on the internet, all of a sudden people started complaining. They're like reaming me constantly. I'm like, what the hell is your problem? I didn't even understand. I had never had that experience before. I'm more used to topical criticism for political takes or something like that. Hellas, be soft. The files are on my table. I'm ready and I'm able. I'll prosecute by iron fist. Hang on, there's a twist. I've looked again, and you know what? In fact, there is no list. Liar's Sonnet by Pam Bondi. Yeah, sounds about right. Pellendall, are you gonna do another Oregon Trail 2 stream? Yeah, of course I will. Copium, all of Congress is on the list. Trump can merely suspend habeas corpus for Congress and let them all dangle. God can sort them out. Yeah, it'd be a little bit difficult to do that, though. That's the problem. Do I have any more news actually to cover? I don't believe so. John Smith. Dude, Trump is on the list too, idiot. I don't believe that he is. Press X to doubt. I believe that Donald Trump used his plane. We've already known that for years anyway. But he used that to go back and forth from Manhattan. It doesn't appear that he ever went to the island. And even if he did, again, that doesn't mean that he did anything wrong. That's the whole fucking problem. The problem is, you went to Rape Island, but not everyone was raping. So then you have to go through case by fucking case. And that's a list of thousands of people. It's going to be very, very difficult for them. The problem is that the public, if you release the list, They would believe that anyone on the list was ultimately culpable. They would believe that they're all guilty. The problem is that not all of them are guilty of any wrongdoing. It was possible to go to Epstein Island and not fuck a kid. The same is true of going anywhere else. Let's say that you find out that some compound is being used to traffic 12-year-olds, but somebody who's not even aware that this is happening simply goes there for dinner. Well, they didn't do anything with a 12-year-old. They didn't do anything wrong at all. They had no idea that something was going on anyway. If you release the list of people that were registered as having gone there as guests, they might be implicated. Well, the problem is they might sue you for defamation. They might drag it out in court. That's expensive. They might say, look, I did nothing wrong. I don't know what the fuck you're talking about. Or you may falsely accuse somebody. And so there are plenty of problems with regards to this. I have a feeling that most of the people that went to Epstein Island, we probably know why they went there. That being said, there's going to be a contingency of people that didn't really know what was going on or were ambivalent to it, and they were there for other reasons. Business deals, celebrity deals, making out with some other celebrity or whatever. But they had no clue what was going on. And so if you release the list, I can understand the Trump administration's guidelines with regards to the list. If you release it, you're prejudicing any jury that can possibly be convened. That's going to be a big problem because these are big names. That being said, I would have told the public, if I was Donald Trump, I would have fired Kash Patel and Dan Bongino. I would have gotten rid of them immediately. I would have said, look, you should probably resign. Oh, you don't want to resign? No, I'm telling you, you should probably resign because the consequences are going to be a lot worse if you don't. Make them resign, get them away, and then you tell the American public, look, we do have the list. They were wrong. They've resigned for a reason, because I'm interested in culpability within government agencies. I made them resign. I've got the list, but I cannot release it right now. It's impossible for me to do so. If I do that, there are too many people that are going to file defamation claims. They're going to immediately lawyer up all of these people, every single one of them, because they've all got the money to do so. And I won't be able to actually prosecute them. You must give me more time. Please don't get impatient with me. That's what I would do if I was Donald Trump. Sign for oy vey, me too. Oh, I wish I had some matzo soup right now. Tenerife. God damn it, Sticks. It's Bongino. Yeah, I've heard it pronounced like 5 different ways, so I don't even care anymore. Copium Poppies. Looks like YouTube doesn't like what we have to say about those on the list. But yeah, it would be difficult. I'm sure the Pentagon has some extra lumber and rope. Yeah, in the end, I believe there will be closure. But we're not going to get it in our lifetime. We're going to get it 30, 40 years from now. Just like the Gulf of Tonkin. Ministry of Wrongthink. The logic I see from people is Trump doesn't want the list out, therefore he's on it. But the Dems just tried to release it. So, by their logic, none of the Dems are on it now? Something else going on. Yeah, I'm glad that you noticed that. Yeah, the problem is Trump's on the list as far as flight logs. We already know this. We've known it for years. Do I believe that he went to Epstein Island? No, I do not believe that he went to Epstein Island. And if you were to release the full list, and he were not implicated, but a bunch of random congressional Dems and Republicans were, It would cause Armageddon, politically speaking. This is why they're not releasing it, by the way, because the list contains a list of the rich and famous, military brass, celebrities, musicians, artists, people in Congress, governors, people like that, people at the upper echelons of society. If you were to implicate them all, you would cripple the economy. It would no longer be functioning. Every sports franchise is ruined. Every politician is discredited. Every military member at the higher ranks is, immediately booted out of the military. It would cause chaos. The scandal is so large that they simply can't do anything about it. And that's the sad reality. While it would be very funny for them to do that, it won't. Inland Surfer, hopefully Baron listens to your channel and lets Dad know what's up. I hope that Baron Trump is listening to me. It would be good. He has his dad's ear. I know that I have the ear of the administration, at least in some small way, because they literally shared out one of my videos in the last election. But, yes, it would be beneficial. Exodore. By not releasing it creates a gray area that the left will use to lie about who's on it. Yeah, exactly, and that's the whole problem. The problem for the Trump administration is the issue has been brought up, but they're being evasive about it. I understand why, and it's for legal reasons. That's great. That's fine. But you're a politician. It's like during my case, for example. I deliberately chose not to talk about my legal case until it was culminated. That's because the first priority of the average content creator, a retard by the way, is to appease the court of public opinion. Instead, what you're supposed to do is appease the actual court. That way you don't get fucked in the ass. But this is a little bit of a different situation. Trump administration's not being charged with a crime or anything like that. No, their main goal is to appease the public. Well, then do it. Fucking appease the public. Tell them the truth. We have the list, but we can't release it. And here are the reasons why. That's all that we're asking. It's... What is that strange sound? That's called leather rubbing against the table. No, that was not me farting. I'm gonna fart the leather chair more. I'm just having fun at this point. Yeah, I'm shitting all over myself. Holy shit. Shouldn't have eaten all of those tacos. I'm making veggie soup later, actually. Turtles Toy Box bar chair. Anyways, I'm going to let you all go so that I can docket things for tomorrow, number 1. And I've also got to listen to Heil Hitler by Kanye West. Oh, Crossover Maniac. Like you. Trump isn't releasing list because the Israeli government is behind this. They pressured Trump into keeping it under wraps. This is the USS Liberty incident on the U.S. justice system. I happen to disagree with you, although in principle there are connections. I am a noticer, don't worry. I think it's more about the fact that half of the economy would disappear overnight if you were to release the full list. Because I have a feeling that a lot of these rich and famous people, when they're empowered to do whatever they think that they want to do, what do? Illicit things. And so they tend to be more corrupt than the average person in the population. They've been empowered in order to do what they want. Yeah, fuck a 10-year-old? Yeah, that sounds good. And stuff like that. Or drink until they pass out and they wake up next to a 15-year-old. I am a noticer. Don't worry about that. But, yeah. Anyways, I'm going to go offline. Please send no more super chats. I'm going to go docket some news, and then I've got to start in on my veggie soup, which is going to be real great. It's not going to be real great cooking it, because it's going to be fucking 94 degrees or something like that. But I'm going to try my best. It's going to be hilarious. That's about all. Peace out.